77 contacts and your team has 3 appointments that your team
If you
set.
click online, I have one.
Go down.
Yeah, I have one online. If you click online.
Okay. So how do you? Okay. So we have 55, 157 appointments scheduled. Yeah. How did you schedule the appointment?
That was I scheduled it in advance with Manuel.
Okay.
I mainly put that in there.
Okay, but you put it in here.
Yeah, and then it just reminded me as it came up.
Okay. Yeah. Look, this is something. We have Saturday training. I want you entering this stuff in so I can see. And another thing, right? After your appointments, okay, this is for you. Okay, this is for you. This is going to help you. The trainers in here, the people. You know, obviously, if you're being trained directly by me, or we have that sort of relationship where we talk after appointments, you should leave a detailed telegram after every appointment. Okay, you should always do that. Hey, this is what happened. This is what I couldn't overcome. You know, things were going great, and you do a memory dump of the appointment. I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this commitment, I got this. This is where they hesitated, and everything you should do, you should say on the telegram, and it's really beneficial. And then you say, this is where I got stopped, and what are your thoughts? This is what I was thinking, and you really do an autopsy of every appointment. Okay, I go to a gym where there's actually high-level athletes. I mean, like they're top 200 in the world in the gym. You know what they do? And they're not like, this isn't Gold's Gym, people trying to post Instagram videos. Okay, which is cool. I'm not opposed to that. These are like people that go to competitions and they get paid. They don't make a lot of money, but they get paid. You know what they do? They have these little apps and they have these stands and they video all their workouts. Because they see, oh, I was rounding my back when I got tired. I did this, my breathing, I could tell. Looking just for just this. Football players watch film, right? They were talking about this whole Antonio Brown saga, right? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, Patriots, the meeting started at 8 a.m. today. They'll be in film study, and then they'll be on the practice field at 2. I was like, damn, 6 hours of film and prep and lunch and meetings and strategies. Then you get on the field. You can't leave one message. A securities producer, Arlie Larson, $1 million earner. He makes $1.5 million. He's, I think, the first $1 million earner in Canada. He said every client that I have developed that has been with, he's one of the founders of our company. He said, every client that I've been with that has been with me for over 30 years, I calculated it. Every client, lifetime client that I have, I've made $50,000 off that client. I've been here 15, 16 years. That's 100% true. I have clients that I've made $10,000, $11,000 off of. Not one time, not right away. They got married, they got divorced, they got a 401k, they have new kids, they got an inheritance. We moved from a mutual fund to an annuity to another annuity, right? It happens a few times. How many 30-year clients I have? None, okay? But in the 10, 15 years that I have some clients, I made tons of money. How you can't send a message just to get on point about an appointment, right? Where you say, hey man, this is what happened, this is it, this is where I couldn't overcome it, and then let me learn, let me get better, right? But look, that's great. But now what I'm going to start doing, because I want to start using this, you can make notes after the appointment. Hey, let's talk. Okay, I'm going to look at what you did, right? You need help? Okay, hey, what was the appointment? I'll look. We can talk. Right? We can talk. But let me look here first. What are the notes at the appointment? Hey, follow-up schedule. This and that. Just in the habit of what? Being a pro. Right? So look, I know we're going to talk about this every single week. Okay? Make sure you're living and dying by this. Okay? Like I said, this is a below RVP meeting. And for the people that are not in my base shop, this is how I'm talking to my base shop. Okay? If you're not, you're kind of, an honorary member of my base shop this morning, because I know what works. Right? Just like some of you guys, right? You guys really using this emergency contact. I never did an emergency contact growing up in this business, but I knew that this was, I don't know, it's probably increased my business by 30%, the emergency contacts. Okay? I don't know how many extra good recruits we're going to get. I don't know how much geometric progression from the recruiting, because people will know how to keep people right away by contacting, prospecting, touching, exposing, follow up from this. So look, log in, okay? I can look at, I won't do it, okay, because it would be inappropriate for many of you, okay? But I can look at your screen time and see what you're doing, right? It shows what apps you're on, what you're doing, right? Use your business, man. Log in 10, 15 minutes a day, in the morning, at night, just to get your mind right? Get your to-do list, get your appointments. Say, man, did I not add any contacts? Right, Jerry Seinfeld, right? You know, whenever he sold his show for $800 million, he was like whatever, the most successful sitcom ever, right? And he said he just tried to do comedy every day. He's like, I try to write a new joke, do some sort of comedy every day, and I had a big calendar on my board, and every day I did comedy, I would do an X, and if I didn't do comedy, it would break the X. And he goes, so there was obviously some days I wouldn't do it, but that was my goal every day. But if it went 2 days, I got nuts. He goes, and there's this whole thing, you look it up, it's called keep the chain going, right? That was the Jerry Seinfeld thing, just a very simple thing, keep the chain. This guy, 800 million, has a calendar in Xing it, right? Like, you got to look every day. You got to look every day. You have to look at your business every day. Did I add contacts, right? What did you do, right? And then one day when you have a team, look at that's pretty cool, right? 55 logs into 100. This is 1 week. What? Hey, I promise you, we're going to get to a point we have 1,000 contacts a week. I promise you that. And they're going to be real contacts, and not going to be stupid ass lists that people have. You're going to sit down with a new recruit. I'm going to sit down with Josh, and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through a top 20. I'm going to go see the most qualified, best people. And it's going to be a business system, and it's going to permeate down through my team, okay? So anyways, let's talk, let's get into our training. But I wanted to go through that. I'll expect better results next week and more activity. So why do we recruit, okay? We recruit people for lots of reasons, all right? Obviously, freedom, passive income, more people to see, team, more people can do more activity. But ultimately, if you look at this from a very, 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 very business perspective, the reason why you recruit is to do more appointments. That is why we recruit. A terrible philosophy that people develop in Primerica is, if I get enough. If I get enough recruits, then no. That's not how this business works, okay? You plug holes in your business because you plug them. You fix problems in your business because you fix them. Nothing in this business happens by accident. It's very intentional, and you get better. It's not, oh, if I get more recruits, I'll get more appointments. No. Okay? I know tons of people that have lots of recruits. They don't have any appointments. Okay? Now, what does that also mean? It's a contradiction. It's not going to happen overnight. As you get better and get the right recruits, that's true. But ultimately, the reason why we recruit is to do more kitchen table appointments. And if you can have a business where you and other people are out at night, 5, 6 people out at night playing the game of Primerica, you've unlocked it. Business is great. Okay? I have that in my base shop, right? I have trainers that you guys see, right? We said, what if, I don't know, I mean, I didn't even post it, right? But if you kept record, right, just mentally, right, we have my base shop activity thread. We made like the base shop. We made like 10 to 12 sales in the last 2 days, right? Because I have people out at night in the field. setting appointments, taking a recruit out, referrals, emergency contacts, all that stuff. So more recruiting leads to more activity, and more activity specifically means more kitchen table appointments. Okay, and I'm going to talk more about recruiting in a second, all right? But why is the KT so important? Let's talk about this, all right? Number one, you help families, all right? So you feel a sense of purpose, you get the crusade in you, you know, you have to, right? Like look, you know, and this is okay, I understand. You have to change your attitude, right? Like you guys are below our VPs, okay? You guys are the most important people in my business. I mean, it's not my RVPs. My RVPs are very important, but you guys are the most important. A lot of texts I got this morning, right? Like, look, you know, I'm expecting, like, you know, you don't come, like, it's funny how people, you know, they come in. You can't just come here and the seat's for you. No, what are you doing for the meeting? I'm also seeing who's going to be a leader, right? Like, you know, are you helping set up? Are you just coming in at the last second, expecting your seat, expecting the thing to go, you know, like, no, those are my children. That's how my I'm not being funny. That's how my 5-year-old, my 7-year-old acts. Oh, where's breakfast? Where's this? Why isn't this working? Okay, that's fine. I'm your parent. I will take that responsibility, right? I don't do that with my parents, right? Maybe a little bit. You know, that's different. Okay? My mom enjoys spoiling me, so I do it for her. Okay? All right, so it's not for me, it's for her. But like, you can't like, oh, what's this? No. I like this, right? A lot of you, well, you know, no. What are you doing? What are you doing to promote this? What are you doing to make this better? What are you doing to add to it? Like, hey, can I help? Can this? What do we do next time? And you know, this isn't just something where you take up the air and, you know, the seat is there for you and then you just scurry off. That's not right. Right? That's not right. You're never going to have followers like that. You know, I'm not saying I was a kiss butt when I first started in this business, but I did a lot for my RVP. I was very appreciative of him, right? Whether I agreed with everything he did he piss me off all the time? I was a problematic recruit, just like a lot of you guys are, but I did a lot, right? I mean it. I'm not gonna say I was like the most angel child growing up in the bake shop. I was not. I had a lot of questions. I was very, I wasn't confrontational, but I was, you know, I was freaking 23, 24, 25. I think I am where I am now. No, I have a tremendous amount for my respect for my parents now, right? Because I'm a parent. I didn't appreciate them as much as I should have, right? I gave my parents hell growing up. And now understanding children and what they did for me and seeing other people and then meeting other people and seeing what their parents are like, I feel extremely grateful and blessed, right? So I understand that, but you know what? I always, hey, if I had to set up, if I had to do anything, right? So, you know, you having this feeling of always wanting to provide a great service for families, that's going to allow you to build a loyal following, a good team of people, right? So never forget that. Number two, that's how you make money today, okay? Now, for many of you, that should be, you should write that 20 times. Make money today. Okay? You're having financial problems. You're having, right? This is you know, this is a locker room meeting. You're having spousal support problems. You're having children support problems. You're having parent support problems. It's usually the root issue is going to be money. Okay? If money is coming in every day, whether it's, you know, you always remember this, you make $100 a day, that's $3,000 a month. You make $200 a day, that's $6,000 a month. You make $300 a day, that's $9,000 a month. You make $1,100 a day, that's $500,000 a year. You make $2,600 a day, that's $1 million a year. Right? So you need to make money today. You need to close some business today. You need to get in front of somebody today. Right? And look, I'm telling you, right? This is our confidential meeting, right? Like, I know, right? Whatever it is that your goal is, whatever, whoever you're trying to impress or win the support of, I'm telling you, money is going to help you tremendously, right? Tremendously. So you gotta, that's why you have to be extremely KT focused every day, because that's how you make money today, right? 3, create huge long-term income, right? By KTs, because you're getting skilled, you're developing clients. Every client, 30 years is $50,000. You have a 30-year client. Okay, think about that. 4, the best people are at the KT, or they're from the KT. You might get a referral, who do you know from the KT, and you're going to get the very best people. They're at the KT. And number 5, and this is the most important thing, the way you duplicate in this business is at the kitchen table. Okay, true duplication happens at the KT. Doesn't happen in the office. Now look, obviously, I think because I've done a lot of appointments, I have several layers of trainers. I can kind of teach a moving car that's going on. Like, I didn't really train Jen in the field, okay? But through her extreme perseverance and work ethic, going on appointments, getting beat up, just missing, making, closing, not closing, I would kind of course correct her, because all the things I'm telling you to do, she did. She'd always leave the messages. She'd always contact me after every appointment. I'd ask, and I'd really dig in there and investigate. What'd you say? What about this? What about that? And through hours and hours of me teaching her, right? And then going through, asking her feedback, going through the presentations, talking to her all the time, you can learn it. But you guys can do it a lot faster by someone watching you do 5 appointments. Okay? And so if you want to build a big business and you want good trainers, and always remember this, 21 trainers, good trainers in your business is $1 million a year income passive. Okay? $1 million a year passive. Okay, now how do we recruit? I've already gone over all the ideas that I have for you, okay? But I want to give you, Mike Sharp had a quote, okay? And I just want to, because I want you to understand you're not alone when you feel like this. He said, that's the part you got to figure out, okay? That's the part you have to figure out. Now, we can give you all the ideas, but none of them are going to look good, and they're all going to be an acquired taste. Some may look better than others, but your ability to do the stuff you don't want to do every single day and get good at a few, and then in a sick, weird way, you'll actually start liking it, right? Like there's a saying in our gym, right? And it says, you have the privilege to pay for this punishment, right? You have because I think about that sometimes. I leave my gym like, why am I paying for this? Just dying every day, like just sore, can't move, body hurts, right? And it's just like, and then I'm like thinking like, and I mean like I'm paying for this, and all the people in the gym are people like me. They're just like dads and moms. They're not like athletes training for anything, and we're like doing, Somebody got a drill? It's like, let's see, like, something come to the floor right there. So we have the privilege to pay for the punishment, right? So that's the part you got to figure out for yourself. Larry Weidel said, the majority of this business, you have to figure out for yourself. Okay? We'll give you the ideas. This isn't a go get 'em. okay? But at the end of the day, you will have to prospect. You will have to talk to people. You will have to go outside of your warm and lukewarm market. And you have to constantly push yourself to the edge of that comfort zone all the time, every day, especially with recruiting, okay? So, what you focus on grows, right? Audios. Listen to a lot of audios, man. You know, I know a lot of you guys are in the habit of studying for exams and stuff, but you should be focused on, you know, growing your business, listening to audios, how to do interviews. What are you talking about? So, right, I'm going to talk a little bit because, you know, one of the people that I'm working with, Amanda, right now, right, she's coming in, she's learning interviews. So I can indirectly train you guys by training her what's relevant to her, okay? And, you know, be mindful, obviously, I know it's going to be really annoying and it sounds like a fart. But let's be mature, okay? And then get through this training. What kind of things are you talking about, right? There's two ways to recruit people. Always remember this. You got to recruit them away from where they are, okay? You got to recruit away. You have to recruit away. Away from a commute, away from a job, away from a schedule, away from the golden handcuffs, away from a boss, away from 9 to 5, away from overworked, underpaid, away from corporate politics and BS. Got to recruit away from that. A lot of that is developed in telling your story, okay? Your story is very important. That's where you're going to drop a lot of seeds. You can't say your job sucks. You can say my job sucked, and they can agree with you and say their job sucks, okay? Some people, they're, right, Harriet Tubman. You guys know this. My daughter is, I mean, we're going to go to Maryland and go on the Underground Railroad, right? I mean, super crazy, loves the you know, that period in history of learning about, you know, the abolishment of slavery and the Underground Railroad. My daughter is crazy about it, right? And she's like, hey, you know, I didn't even know this. She's like, hey, there's Underground Railroad Trail in Maryland. Can we go? I'm like, how the hell? Google, man, turn Google off, right? I mean, I'm like that. You like this, but if you can find this, I don't know what you can find, right? I mean, damn. You know, that's a little scary for me, right? I mean, like, you know, but Harriet Tubman. I freed hundreds of slaves. I would have freed hundreds more, but they didn't know they were slaves. Think about that for a second. Right? People love their job. They literally love it. They love their job. They don't even know that it's probably better self-employed. There's a better way, freedom, this and that, right? And so you can't just say your job sucks, this and that. You can't do that. So you got to recruit away, okay? Then, and I think that's the best way to recruit people is away from what they are. If they're dissatisfied, if they're disgruntled, if they're upset, angry, irritated, if they've been burned, they're probably going to be a really good recruit, okay? If people hate jobs and hate working for people, they're probably going to be a great recruit. Okay? A lot of you guys are like that. I was like that, right? I couldn't hold a job to save my life. There's so many jobs. Not only did I quit a job, I quit jobs on the first day I got the job. Go in the restaurant, I walk out the back, yeah, and I just, that was me, right? No 2 weeks, no notice, no. I can already tell, right? So, you know, a lot, you know, I know, you know, so people that hate that, they make very, very good Primerica recruits, right? Then the second part of that is recruit to, okay? Recruit to their goals and dreams. Recruit to their purpose, their ambitions, right? That's secondary though, okay? Everybody's a daydreamer. Everybody does have dreams. Not everybody, most people do. But they got to be upset enough and disgusted enough to do something about it. And that's why you got to invoke those feelings first. And look, I know where you guys are. I was there too. And I'll always tell this story. Okay? I thought having nice things or the appearance of having nice things would allow me to recruit people. That is not true. Okay? I recruited people in a cafeteria. I recruited people in my parents' basement. I got my first office. I bought expensive furniture. All of these things, and nobody would say yes to me, right? I have a car now. It's not like a crazy car, but I have a car, right? It's not the Honda that I had, the Toyota that I had growing up in the business. Hey man, yeah, now I park in the driveway. It doesn't mean no one buys because of that. No one says. I remember I was super embarrassed by my car. I'd never park in front of the house. I'd always try to ride with my recruit. That stuff doesn't mean a thing. Now, do you need to do well financially? Yes, because that helps you, and I'll talk more about this, lead better, okay? And you get your own finances in order, and you save $1,000 or $2,000, and you get, because that's more than a lot of people have. You pay off your debt. You start an IRA. You run a hypothetical so you can understand the product. But having money, and because if you think if you're an NSD making $500,000 a year, it'll make you recruit better, you're wrong. It doesn't. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. Because you recruit them away from where they are, not where you are, and then you recruit them to where they want to go. They don't care about you. Okay? So, I mean it. They don't. You guys came over my house when I didn't have a pool. We'd play the same board games and have fun. Yeah. Right? We'd spend time. We just wanted to be around each other. Now, yes, I want to show you a little bit what's possible, and maybe for your partners and stuff like that. But for you, if you're not in this for long-term gain and there's not a burning desire in you, you ain't going to make it anyway. Okay? If you think because you're going to be rich overnight, you're already dead. You're already dead. Doesn't work like that. Right? So, your talk should be 60%. Okay? 60%. And the other 40%, yes, it should be talking about clients. Okay? Because now in a business where we are right now, real good recruits, they actually are very concerned about what we're doing for families. That what we're doing is professional, what we do is legitimate, right? What we do is ethical, moral, and that you are going to deliver on what you say you're going to do. So 60% should be recruiting. At least 40% though should be talking about clients. Okay. When I say clients, I'm talking about customer service and the systems that we have in place, and you developing clients. All right. And you always want to. This is just a tip, right? Recruit up. Recruit up. What does that mean? Not people with credibility. Okay? They don't have to be sharp. They don't have to be corporate. They don't have to be Ivy League. But they do what they say they're going to do. They have some credibility. They have strong relationships. They've had some threads of success in their life, right? Whether it was sports, school, something, leadership, fraternal organizations, sororities, whatever it is, something where they did something and they committed and they won. That usually shows credibility, okay? Now, the two primary factors that influence results, okay? And this is stuff that I'm talking with Amanda about. That's why I'm talking with you, okay? And so when she talks to me, and I talked about her daily schedule, and you guys see if you're on our activity thread, she's working, right? So I'm trying to help her. So the two primary factors that influence results, okay? Number one, the number of people you meet with each week, okay? Now, I'm going to contradict a little bit, right? That's different than, like, say, Donald. Donald talks to me and calls me and says, Shaq, I got 20 numbers. That's great, but that doesn't mean you got in front of a bunch of people, right? If Amanda says to me, hey, I booked this many interviews, the first thing I told her when I started working was that you got to get in front of 10 new people a week. Is that what I said to you? I said, look, your activity, I don't care what it is, as long as you're getting in front of people. So the primary number one thing is, did you get in front of somebody? So the number of people you meet with each week. Okay? And then number 2 is your skill level. And your skill level, I'm talking about 2 things. People skills and sales skills. I know I have to talk about this more, okay? I talk about this all the time. People skills, right? What do we stay away from with new recruits? What do we stay away from? Religion. Politics. Okay? It's not worth it. Okay? You know, maybe if you've known someone for many, many years, okay, talk about it. Do not bring that here. Okay? If you met somebody in church, okay, maybe you could talk about it then, even then. Okay? That's a people skill thing. You can listen. They can talk, but you talking about politics and religion and even parenting. Now look, if Kelvin asks me something and I say, hey man, this is what I learned and stuff like that, but I've known Kelvin for, 10 years now, right? Even then, you got to be careful. New recruits, stay away. Okay? You know, I don't know what it is. People are extremely opinionated now. You guys are opinionated. You want to make sure you get your message across and you're vocal about it. Look, it's offensive. All right? It's offensive. And people don't care. They don't. Right? I mean it. They don't care. So, you know, people skill, very, very important, right? Also, right, I was thinking about this too, right? Like the personality traits, right? So I'm an A, okay? That's my dominant personality trait, right? Anybody else in dominant A? Okay? So like I have kids, right? And so I'm in R, right? So R's like to talk and chat. Right? So if I meet an R, and I'm an R, so I'm more patient, right? It's just natural. They start asking about my kids. And they'll ask, and they keep asking, and then they keep asking, and then keep asking, and then they keep asking. It's like, shut up. And I love talking about my kids. Right? So you got to understand, like you're talking to A's. If you're over talkative and you're an R, shut up. Because the A is thinking, how do I make money? How does this work? Why do you keep asking me questions about stuff that's not relevant to here? Right? That's just a tip. Okay? Because I just noticed that a little bit. Okay? And that's not you. I mean, I know she's thinking I'm training indirectly. I will tell you that. And I know you're actually an S, so you're not an R. Another basic people skill, always remember this, no one wants to be sold. No one wants to be recruited. Okay? No one wants to feel recruited. No one wants to feel sold. No one wants to feel like a number. Okay? And you've heard this many times, right? What are the two things that people always look for in anybody trying to sell them or get them to do anything? What is the 2 main things? Like and trust, right? So they're always asking these questions subconsciously. Do I like him or her? Do I like him or her? And do I trust him or her? That's why I say stay away from the issues. Okay? Stay away, right? I'm not talking on my interview about gun control. Okay? I'm not. If they bring it up, I'm not taking the bait. I'm just being for real, man. Like, look, and I know, like, I've had, like, you know, Shug and I might get into a heated debate about diets or something like that, you know? And so you might think, no, I know Shug. And one, I'm just asking her. I really don't I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm, like, I don't talk about these things with people, man. In the car, or talking to, you never know what people think, man. Right? You have no idea. So, they're always asking, do I like this person? Be a likable person. What does a likable person do? They listen. You know what? When someone says, I like you, in their mind, they're thinking, you know what they're thinking? I like you because I can hear myself talking to you. And you listen. That's it. That's the number one thing in people's skills. Can they hear themselves talking to you? They just want to hear themselves talking, and you, okay, ask, be genuinely interested, steer the conversation, and do I trust you, right? Are you embellishing? Are you, and that's why you have to be very careful with the questions you ask and how you present, because they're asking, do I like you? Do I trust you? And if you can get those two answers, you can sell anybody, you can close anybody, you can recruit anybody. And you don't treat people like a number. Don't ever do that, right? Don't ever do that. Okay. And always remember, right? The harder you work, the luckier you get. Josh was right here, and I'm excited about Josh. Josh, you'd be a great recruit, man. I didn't recruit him. Somebody else recruited him, and he called my office. Well, why do you think he called my office? Because that person referred him to this office because he knows me. Why does he know me? Because for 10 years, I had the most people at the event. I did the most. I had the most production. I had the most, right? I mean, I'm friends with people in the company, not political way, because I help people. They call. I let them come visit my office, because the harder I work, the luckier I get. Right? You're not going to catch a lucky break if you don't work hard. Right? There is an element of luck here, but the luck always goes to the people that are working hard. If I didn't work, you definitely don't catch a break. Right? So I understand some of this is random chance, man. Okay? But the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that's why your work ethic has to be very, very important if you want to build your business. Okay. Let's talk about, you guys are going to hand these out. You can read these after training. Anybody ever read this book? You should read this book, right? This was written by the #1 recruiter in our company's history, right? Hubert Humphrey. He left our company when R. Williams sold the company, and he started his own company. But these principles, and then they took part of it from other recruiters in the company. And you should be, if you want to actually recruit and build, you got to learn some of the vocabulary in here. So pass these out for me. That's where you can walk around. All right. And also, I have a box of Virginia life books, if anybody wants to give these out. Anybody needs them?
Oh,
Let me get one of these. Are you in Virginia?
Peter.
This is something I can
Yeah.
She texted me something. No, he said get one of the books.
Nice.
Like, you better.
Okay. So, all right, let's tighten up real quick. So second thing I want to talk about, and it will feed into some of the recruiting, is events, okay? So a lot of you guys come from different entrepreneurial backgrounds. You come from, and you are part of events, okay? For example, can I say look at it after training? So, you know, my brother recruited somebody in Baltimore. We've been working with him for a long time. He's securities licensed, and he lives in Baltimore, like I just said. And he put on a meeting, okay? And, you know, I sold it as like a single event, right? I said, hey man, look, and I had him do it. He talked to somebody. Actually, me and him did it together. He recruited somebody. So my brother recruited Mike. Mike recruited a client. We got a client through Zoom. I recruited him with Mike, right? From the KT. Guy wanted to start. He became a client first, and then his wife, dad owns a restaurant. Okay, so we set up a meeting where we said, hey, this is an event, right? It's a finance event. We try to do different things. I'm not this creative. Some of you guys are a million times more creative than me, but we sent out an e-bite. It was kind of like a financial wellness workshop type learning experience, right? And we set it up one time. Obviously, Shug lives in Baltimore, so we kind of collaborated. And it was a cool event. It was a really fun event. There was like, I don't know, 10 to 15 guests. You know, all the people participated. There's 4 or 5 speakers there, meaning like us, the people that were recruited. We all had 1 or 2 minutes. People took ownership. You know, they had a projector. It was a different venue. It was in a restaurant, but it was like an upstairs in a restaurant. And it was awesome. And this is the future of our company. Okay? The future of our company is these types of meetings. And I know that because that's the future of the world, right? When I go to these, whatever it is, these gyms, all they're doing is informational sessions. If I go to kids things, like I said, the instructor, hey, we're having this one day, and they're always trying to get people in a room and give information to people that's non-threatening, a little less formal. It's easy because look, it's very tiresome. And you have a limited amount of energy. So if you can at all weed out the people that are not interested, it saves you. And there is something with group dynamics, right? So like my daughter, my baby, right? She's in a kid's gymbo, right? They call it gymboree. And, you know, whatever you find out about these things, they send these things out, and they basically do an op meeting. They say, hey, come to the free class. And the free class is not like their normal class. It's op meeting, right? There's more kids there. It's a little more exciting. They have a bigger attitude because they want the better attitude because they want people to come back, right? But it was all done in group, and you meet some of the other parents, and it's all creating some sort of community. Right? See, we have our general trainings, which is today, and we have Saturday. But you need to be talking to people, right? Like, you know, some things you can ask people, right? You guys do kitchen table appointments. Something you should always ask people, hey, especially if they're at all becoming a recruit. Even if they're not becoming a recruit. If I sit down with Shug and her husband, right, I'm at her home, and I'm sitting there doing the kitchen table, I'll say, hey, do you host people? Just ask them that. How many people love to host? They love hosting people. I have a sister-in-law, Rufy, you know, she loves hosting people. That's all she does is host. Every time we go over there, there's a new person there, new friend, new family, new kids running around. I'm like, okay, yeah, we met, this, that, Facebook group, this, that, they're here. I'm like, what? You got no shame just letting people in your house? Like, right? Right? She's a hoster. If I said that to her and I was doing, hey, and like say she became my client, I said, hey, could you host 5 or 6 people? Could I just do like a information thing? Ask. People love partying with like 3 of their friends and their kids. You guys got to get creative. This is the future of our business. Events, putting on events. And this does not even cost a lot of money. Sometimes you can do potlucks, or you can, Roy Matlock gave an idea on the Zoom he did 2 weeks ago about going with realtors, right? And having realtors, they love doing events because this is how they get business. So you can do barbecues, right? Look, I used to have a big event every week. It was called the Op Meeting. It was actually a real event. We get 30, 40 guests out every single week. Now that doesn't work, okay? I'm not saying it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the way I wanted to do it. Some of you guys are doing it, that's fine. But you can be doing op meetings every week. I meet Howell, put 5 people in a room. Do you think you could do that? And he might not be able to do it, but he could put 3, and he could get 1 recruit, and you could see him lead and talk and tell his story and go through it and say, like, I loved hearing, I heard, I was telling, obviously, Shug, right? I mean, I remember I was telling you how we were driving the car. My brother was like, gosh, Shug, like, I've heard you a bunch of times, right? But I was like, man, Shug just freaking slayed. Didn't I say that, right? Yeah. I was like, dude, Shug, I mean, geez. And Mike, his recruit, I was like, geez, man, he never talked that long. And what he was saying, and, I never would have seen that opportunity, but I saw it at a smaller cell group event. You guys are at home, you like playing, like you like doing stuff, do an event, have fun with it. Right? And I know the funny thing is, Shondell, I say the same stuff all the time and nobody listens. Just like the same stuff I said about Sales Team Pro, people don't do it. But when I told people 2 years ago, 3 years ago, about emergency contact, the people that have mastered it, they're making money right now. And the people, they had to see somebody else do it. And now they're trying to learn it, and that's cool. Learn it, better late than never. I'm telling you, this is how the business is going to work. You guys are social. There is evites. I mean, I don't even text individually anymore. I only text in group. I like group chat. Everything I do is through group. I work out in a group. I do things, we go to the bus stop in a group. Like everything you do is in group, right? That's how the world is evolving. People are doing these smaller community type circles. And so you got to figure out and be creative. These are things that you guys can do. Somebody was, I think Jen sent me something that she learned from the company, a women's event or women in wine event or women in wings event. Okay, I did it one time. Did you do it more than that? What are you doing now? You're having these new quality recruits. They can put 5 to 10 people in a meeting, right? Sometimes, like at my gym, we have a lot of high achievers, right? A lot of college athletes and stuff like that. And some of them are even self-employed or do businesses, right? And they do stuff. Like they put on charity events. Like there's these people in our gym, and it's a really great cause for the International Justice Missions, human trafficking, right? And I mean, they're like, I'm talking really good at this. Like creating the event, fundraising the event, getting people there. It has nothing to do with the gym, but they talk about it, right? And then, it's cool how they can put people in a room. That's how you got to be. How you put them in a room is different, right? The old-fashioned way is come learn about this, which I understand. That's what I did, and I was good about it. But that's not the new-fashioned way. Okay, the new-fashioned way is collaborating. It's you put one person in a room, host a party, I'll come, right? This, that, right? I want you to meet somebody, and our number 1 productive income-earning agent, Sheila, is a master at this. Okay, so I'm not talking about theories. I'm talking, this is what she does. She puts on things and, in the Filipino community, in the medical community, in the fundraising community, and all these things that she does, and she puts people together. And yes, there might be 5 or 10 minutes or when people talk, or there might be an agenda, but, go to these events, learn what other people are doing, and then you do it. Okay? This is not a business where you're just helpless and wondering what to do, how to put things. No. And your RVP, especially me, right? If you can actually put something on, I enjoyed that. I really did. I didn't mind that. That was awesome. There's 15 people in our meeting. It was so exciting. So what happened from it, I'm not sure. And I have no idea. But you'll get more KTs, more follow-up, more experience, and this is how we're going to grow our business. So, always ask questions, right? Especially with your new recruits in your orientation. This should be something that we are talking about. Hey, if we were to put on something or host something, either at your home or the office, how many people could you put in a room? Your KTs, ask, hey, do you like hosting people? If we did something and we did a educational seminar or something like that, look at the Sales Team Pro. I'm sure there's some ideas on there of how to talk and get the dialogue, okay? This is something I need you guys to lead the charge in. When we can get the multiplication factor and new people bringing people, and what is more exciting, like, you know, Donald talks about his 3-way text. What is more exciting than an already existing client or recruit that has bought off on you, introducing you to other people? That's all this is, and it's face-to-face, allowing you to get face-to-face with people. Face-to-face with people. Okay, last thing. Five KTs a week, okay? Something you guys got to just stay focused, right? I was talking to Josh the other day, and you know, it's you know, when you have to take out of your vocabulary month. Month has to go, okay? The only time you should be responsible for your month-to-date numbers is if I ask you. You should never report them, because if you think for the month, you're toast. Okay, and I'm going to use Josh as an example, right? I can call him. He's a top producer here, right? Did 10 by 10 last month. So if I can get on him, I can get on you, right? Josh had a good month last month. And right now you're not having a good month, right? You're behind this month, right?
Right.
So if it's the 12th of the month, where are you at?
2 by 0.
Okay, so, and he said to me, and we were, you know, I was getting on him, right? And he said to me, well, I'm going to back it up this month. I don't care about this month. I care about this week, okay? When you put up numbers, you put them up for the week. Don't think of the month. When you think of months, you're already going to start procrastinating. That's how students think. I'll get it up. This starts very, very, very young, right? I'm trying to teach my kids now daily habits, right? Because I know that's the key to success in anything, right? You show me your daily routine, I'll show you your success, right? If they read every day, if they pray every day, if they have their affirmations every day. So you got to read affirmations 3 times in the morning, 3 times at night. That's what they say, right? You can't just read them 21 times on Sunday, right? Like my daughter, she's like me, right? A little bit of talent, shortcutter. That's my daughter, right? Talk her way out of anything, very good, very naturally inclined. She is. That was me too, right? But it doesn't matter how naturally inclined you are, to get to the next level in anything, you got to work hard. So like my daughter has spelling tests, civics tests, stuff like that. And it's Monday or Tuesday, hey, we got to do your homework. The test is Friday. That's what that is saying. I'm going to have a good month. The test is Friday. No. You'll never be great like that. We think week to week here, okay? And that was a mistake I made a long time. I can say that so confidently to Josh because I thought like that a long time. Because my trainers always, where are you at for the month? No. Where are you at for the week? Because you have a great week, you're gonna have a great month, right? You win the morning, you have a shot at the day. You win the day, in 2 or 3 days, you have a shot at the week. But that's how business owners think. They make money every week. They do well every day. They grow every day. Amateurs don't think like that. They think, oh, I can work 3, 4 days out of the month and just survive and just make a little bit of money. That's not how it works, right? And this is for some of you guys, because some of you guys are making a move up. 5 KTs a week, you will survive. You can even quit your job. Okay? And I don't care where you are, you can quit your job. But 10 KTs a week? You're talking self-employed business owner, 10,000 a month income, which is different than net income. Five plus, getting around that 10 number, that's where you're making 10, 11, 12,000 a month. 5 KTs a week, you'll survive. You'll make 5, 6,000. And that's great. I'm not poo-pooing that. It's awesome. That's the start. So you can do more things. You can have more. I mean, extra 5. I tell people all the time, extra $5,000 a month. Bruce Kalk told me that. He said $5,000 a month extra. You can have an unlimited travel budget. Like he would tell me stories, right? When he'd sell the dream to me, he said, I go on cruises. He goes, in the cruises I go on, there's 3 times as many service people on the boat as passengers. So if there's 21 people, there's 60 people servicing them. Right? He goes, no, I'm not going to the Royal Caribbean where there's a buffet and you have the boiled eggs and stuff like that. Right? I mean, he's making fun of me, right? I'm making fun of you, right? But think about that, right? $5,000 a month. So like your ability to, oh man, I can make 5 KTs a week, man. You can quit your job. You can survive. Are you going to be able, depending on where your income is now, could you thrive? I'm not sure, but you could quit a job, which to me was way more important than, especially at that time, right? I don't know where I'd be if I was at a job, right? I have no idea. I'm miserable. I'm, done. But then 10 KTs a week, then you can make your 10, 11, 12,000. And I'm saying that because I have a thread with my top producers. I see what they do every week. I'm studying their numbers. I read their stuff all the time, and I see and I look at their incomes. The people that can do 5 KTs a week, you're making good money, right? 5,000, 6,000 a month. And that's, obviously, that's basically your net. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like an income, you make $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Your net income is what? 100,000. 100,000. The net is what? 5,000 a month, right? 6,000. What is it?
Yeah.
5. What is it?
5,000.
5,000 a month, right? You make 100,000. It's 5,000 a month net after your taxes. So if you can make $5,000 on your own, that's like having a $100,000 job in terms of the income. But 10 KTs a week, I know it's just something to shoot for, right? So, all right. Let's, tomorrow we'll be here at, we'll be in Tyson's at 9:30. I think we should be a little bit better with the chairs and all the other stuff.
Show up early, please.
Yes, 8:45. Okay, divisions and up. Come early, all right? Help set up, do stuff, anybody should be there at 9. Okay, that's Lombardi time. But come early, help set up, lots to put these meetings on. And we'll have a great training tomorrow. Be prepared to set a bunch of appointments. We got our event coming up, and training will be awesome tomorrow, okay? Sales Team Pro, okay? Get familiar with this. Listen to me. And then let's start incorporating some of these events. All right, team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Josh. These are sample FNAs.
Oh, cool.
That's the sheet. You gotta print them off right off.
Yeah, awesome.
Everybody wants this big. Leave the room clean. It's gotta be spotless. The front and the back, yeah, the front and the back.